Part 1. The Ghost in Your Pocket. Picture a Thursday evening. Just an ordinary Thursday evening in Seattle. Rain is tapping gently against the window, setting a soft, cozy rhythm. James sits on the couch, 32 years old, a UX designer, the kind of person who spends his days making interfaces smooth, clear, logical, helping people glide effortlessly from point A to point B. But in his own life, James is caught in an endless loading screen. Right now, he's doing what we all do, fumbling through his phone for something small and forgettable. He needs the Wi-Fi password, the one he jotted down 6 months ago, to read it out to a guest. He opens notes. His thumb scrolls down automatically. Grocery lists, gift ideas for mom, books of 2024, building entrance code, and then his thumb stops, dead, as if it's run into an invisible wall. A note without a title. Only the first few words show in the preview. I've been thinking a lot about what happened. Last edited, October 14th, 2020. A cold shiver runs through him. His stomach drops, the way it does when a plane suddenly loses altitude. It's a draft, a letter to Emily, the girl he broke up with 5 years ago. He wrote it 1 month after they parted. Everything was there: apologies, pain, the confession that he'd been an idiot, and a quiet, hesitant request. Just to meet, just to talk. 5 years ago, he read it over, 10 times, and never hit send. I'll do it tomorrow morning, he told himself. Then, better wait for the weekend. Then, I'll wait for the right moment. Tomorrow became weeks. Weeks became years. The note stayed, floating quietly in the cloud, like a loaded gun someone forgot to take down from the wall. James, did you find the password? Sophie's warm voice pulls him back. He startles, locks the screen in one quick motion. Huh? Yeah, 1 second. Sophie sits right beside him. She's smiling, that soft, familiar smile. Sophie is wonderful. 2 years together now. She's clever. She laughs at his dumbest jokes. She makes the best blueberry muffins on the planet. Sophie is real, warm, alive. Emily is a digital ghost. And here's the quiet tragedy. James lives with Sophie at maybe 80%. The other 20% of his mind is permanently running a background process. What if? He looks at Sophie, reads her the password, but inside his head, the words of that old note keep spinning. He tells himself it's nothing, just a memory, like keeping an old movie ticket. I'm not cheating, he thinks. I love Sophie. This is just an unfinished thing, a loose end. It's normal. But it's not normal. It's a lie, he tells himself. Because every time he and Sophie argue, James opens that note. He reads it like a secret prayer. He slips into a parallel life, the one where he did press send, where Emily answered, where everything turned out differently. That draft is his escape hatch, his emergency exit. As long as it remains unsent and undeleted, hope stays alive in his pocket. And wherever hope for the past is still breathing, there is no space left for a future. Part 2. Life on pause. A month goes by, and then it arrives, the moment every man who isn't quite sure of his feelings secretly dreads. Saturday morning. The smell of fresh coffee and toast fills the kitchen. Sophie sits down across from James at the table. She looks serious. Jay, she says quietly, we need to talk about the lease. My contract ends in 2 months. Yours is almost up too. Maybe, maybe it's time we stopped paying for two separate apartments? It makes perfect sense. It's logical. It's the natural next step. But James doesn't hear a suggestion to move in together. He hears the sound of a door slamming shut forever. If they move in, that's it. Game over. It means the story with Emily is officially closed. No more what if. Yeah, sure, James mumbles, hiding his eyes in his coffee mug. Let's think about it. Work's been crazy lately. I'm not really in the headspace to deal with practical stuff right now. Sophie's face falls. She sees him slipping away. She feels like she's fighting someone invisible, someone who's always standing between them. That evening, James locks himself in the bathroom. He sits on the edge of the tub and opens notes again. October 14th, 2020. The text suddenly feels outdated. Needs editing, he thinks, and he starts rewriting. He changes, "I still love you" to, "I often think about us." He deletes the desperate, "forgive me," and replaces it with a polite, "I hope you don't hold it against me." Do you see what he's doing? He's optimizing a message for a ghost. He's trying to find the perfect words for a conversation that only exists inside his own head. Then, like everyone who's stuck in the past, he does the next predictable thing. He goes to social media. He finds Emily's profile. It's public. There she is, standing on an ocean shore, hair blowing in the wind. She looks beautiful. And, most importantly for James, she's alone in the photo. His fevered mind instantly fills in the rest. She's alone. She didn't find anyone. Maybe she's waiting too. Maybe she's writing drafts of her own? This illusion is intoxicating. It's sweeter than reality. Reality means talking about bills, going to IKEA to pick out a wardrobe, accepting that sometimes Sophie snores. In fantasy, everything is perfect. In fantasy, Emily is a goddess, patiently waiting for him to come back. Things with Sophie begin to quietly unravel. No screaming, no broken dishes, just a slow, steady drift. James grows irritable. "Why are you always on your phone?" Sophie asks. "I'm working," he snaps, even though a second earlier he was scrolling through Emily's Spotify playlist, trying to decode secret messages hidden in song titles. Sophie cries. James feels guilty, but the guilt isn't strong enough to make him stop. He's standing at a crossroads, and deep down he knows he can't keep living like this. He's 32 years old, and he's acting like a teenager. Something has to change, either this way or that way. Part 3. Subscriber unavailable. Friday night. James sits alone at the bar. Sophie has gone to her mom's for the weekend, to think about us. He orders his third whiskey. The alcohol lowers the walls. He stares at the phone screen. He hates this phone. He hates that note. It has sucked every drop of joy out of him. Enough, he tells himself. Be a man. Send the damn message. Get an answer. Let her tell you to go to hell. Let her say no. But at least you'll know. You'll be free. With trembling fingers, he copies the text from notes, opens the messenger, finds the contact. M. The avatar is the same one from 5 years ago. He pastes the text. The cursor blinks at the end of the sentence. Maybe we could grab a coffee sometime. James. His heart hammers in his throat. Now. One tap, and everything changes. He raises his thumb over the blue send button. But out of some stubborn habit, he decides to check her profile one last time, just to be sure. He taps the Instagram icon, refreshes the feed. A new post, uploaded 2 hours ago. A photo. Emily. but not on an ocean shore. She's sitting on a cozy living room couch. Next to her, a man, an ordinary guy with a kind face. And in his arms, a tiny baby. A girl, 3 months old, no more. The caption reads, "My whole world. Happy anniversary, my love. Thank you for our daughter." James stares at the screen. The music in the bar keeps playing. Someone laughs at the next table. The world doesn't collapse, but inside James, a silent nuclear explosion goes off. Quiet, utterly devastating. It burns everything to ash. He understands now. Emily wasn't waiting. While he spent 5 years editing a draft, hunting for prettier synonyms for "I miss you," she was living. She watched sunrises, fell in love, got married, had a child, picked out wallpaper, argued and made up. The Emily he wrote that letter to, she died in 2020. And the James who could have been with her, he doesn't exist anymore either. All this time, he stayed faithful to emptiness. He cheated on warm, living Sophie with a hallucination. The realization of his own stupidity makes him physically sick. He looks at the text still sitting in the message field. "Maybe we could grab a coffee sometime." "What coffee, James? She has a family." "Right now, your message wouldn't look romantic. It would look like a rock thrown through someone else's window. It would be selfish. It would be an attempt to break into someone else's happiness." Part 4. Delete James slowly erases the text from the input field, character by character, letter by letter. Then he goes back to notes, opens the file called 4M. He looks at it one last time. 5 years of his life. 5 years of fear, hope, and self-deception, all packed into 2 kilobytes of text. He taps the trash icon. The system asks, "Delete note? This action cannot be undone." Before, that phrase used to send him into panic. Cannot be undone. How could it? What if he needs it later? But now he understands. That's exactly the point. Life is an action that cannot be undone. James presses delete. The text vanishes. The screen goes clean. He steps out of the bar. The night air is cold and sharp and fresh. He orders a taxi. Not home, to Sophie's mom's house. He doesn't care that it's 2 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't care that he's a little drunk. He needs to see Sophie, right now. Not because that's what you're supposed to do, but because he suddenly realized, with real terror, how close he came to losing the only real thing he has. We'll leave James in the taxi, speeding down the empty night highway. He'll probably wake Sophie up. There'll be an awkward conversation on the doorstep. He might even cry. But it will be a real conversation. No drafts. And now, let's talk about you. Take out your phone. Yes, right now. Open notes, or drafts in your email, or that favorites folder in Telegram. You have it too. The message you never sent. The number you never deleted. The photo you still scroll back to when you're feeling low. You think it's your safety net. Your secret room where you can hide from the everyday grind. But listen to me. It's not a room. It's an anchor. You're dragging dead weight behind you. You can't move forward when your boat is still tied to a pier that rotted away years ago. Unsent messages are the most dangerous words in the world. They rot inside us and poison everything around them. They make us compare living, breathing people to idealized ghosts. And the living always lose, because ghosts don't leave socks on the floor. They don't age. They don't snore. You have 2 paths. First, press send. Take the risk. Get your answer. Even if it's no, leave me alone. I'm taken. Any answer is better than silence. Kill the hope with truth. Second, if you already know you can't send it, if there's a family now, children, or simply too much time has passed, then do what James did. Press delete. Not just archive, erase. It will hurt. It will feel like you're cutting off a piece of yourself. That's because you are. You're cutting out gangrene. Clear the space. You can't pour fresh water into an already full glass. As long as ghosts live in your phone, real people can't come into your life. Turn off this video, go into your notes, and let them go. For good.